It's The Local Show on News Radio 570 WSYR, a service of Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now, your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome back and welcome in. This is hour number 2 of The Local Show. Get ready for engaging interviews with Charlie VanPatten. He's the owner of Mattress Makers. Chris Dambach is the owner of Industry Standard USA. Brian Dumond, president of Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. And then, of course, Troy Waffner is going to wrap us up, and he's the CEO of the SPCA.
He let the dogs out, Tom.
Yes, he did. He was formerly of the New York State Fair.
Yeah.
So we'll have a nice conversation with him.
Yeah.
Right now we say hello to Charlie VanPatten. He's the owner of Mattress Makers. How are you, Charlie?
Very good, gentlemen. How are you today?
Very good. Very good.
Hey, I got a little trivia for you today.
Oh, no. It's always got a little something.
Tom and I look terrified.
Look out.
Okay, we're going to say go ahead until we say stop.
I'm going to tell you why mattresses are fat.
They're fat mattresses. Okay.
Fat mattresses.
Fat, okay.
Sealy of Ohio, which is owned by Ernie Williger.
For radio listeners, Charlie's looking at Tom. Go ahead.
Yes, when he said fat. Yes.
Yes. Thick. Okay. That appears too, right? Some thicker than others.
So why are they fat?
Because this guy named Ernie Williger, who owned the Sealy of Ohio plant, incidentally, Sealy was 27 privately owned plants, and Ernie Williger wanted to own them all. Mm-hmm. And he was like a Rockefeller, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
He started shipping all over the country to knock the other plants out of business.
Yeah.
And one of the ways he cut costs was that he shipped mattresses to California. He built a plant and built box springs, so he was selling Sealy mattresses and private box springs, which gave him a big profit margin.
Yeah.
He actually went to Sealy in Albany, New York, and told them, I want to buy your plant, and this is what I'm willing to pay. He told them, if you don't want to sell it, that's fine. He says, but I'll come into your territory and destroy your company.
Mm-hmm. And they believed him?
Oh, they bought. They sold, I mean.
Yeah, they sold.
They actually sold the company. And so in this period from 1970 to 1990, he killed the mattress business.
Really?
There was no profit. There was no money left. So at the end of the time, when he owned them all except Paterson, New Jersey, who was a friend of his,
right,
still a privately owned Sealy plant, the only one in the country, he decided, well, how am I going to get this back? How am I going to make more money? Very easy. Start making them thicker.
Oh.
So it went up an inch, went up 2 inches.
How does that make you more money? Making them thicker?
You can charge more money because of the perceived value.
So it looks perceived value. Okay.
Yeah. In other words, wow, that must be better because it's thicker.
Right.
And people are dealing with that today too. You know, a factory direct in Texas, and he says less is more, and that's the truth because they got these airbed mattresses and they got 6 inches of foam on top of a bag of foam, and you're supposed to blow that up. Well, you don't blow up foam.
No, yeah.
You got 6 inches of foam. You're going to be in a hole. You're going to stay in a hole.
So bigger isn't better. What's that fairy tale where there was a pea, that there's a mattress or something like
Princess and the Pea?
Yeah,
and they put the pea. So what you're saying is you put a pea on it, you're not going to feel it because there's so much stuff there.
So thick, yes,
So what makes your mattresses a little different than some of these store-bought or some of the brand names?
Well, here's the bottom line. What are you getting from us? 108 years experience. I mean, go back prior to the 70s. Our experience is, roll edge, 8-way hand tied, which are really not relevant today, but things like how to buy cotton, how to buy wool. We had an Irishman that worked for us for 45 years, and he taught me everything about the mattress business going back to 1915, because his first job was with Therapeutic Mattress Company in 1914. He always lives to tell everybody, he says, I love to tell people, he says, I was a shanty Irish living on Teal Ave next to the canal.
Wow.
But
that's a history right there.
So
don't slam the Irish. Tom's wife's Irish. He'll hear it. Yeah.
My grandmother is Irish too. So that's important knowledge because when we buy cotton, I can analyze that cotton like nobody else can to say, oh, this batch was good or this batch was bad, send it back.
Right.
So we're going to be able to source old-fashioned materials because we do a lot of organic and get it to the right quality.
So right now, the seasons are changing. Tom, the seasons are changing.
Yes, they are.
Is this a decent time to say, you know what, my camper needed mattresses. I can't believe we did that. My boat, maybe a larger boat has Is this a time to maybe bring in what's left of the one that they pull in there and have something made? Is this the season to do that when they're not in it, or are you too busy to do that kind of stuff?
No, it's a perfect time because come spring we get very busy with camper and boat mattresses, and those boat mattresses that go in the bow with the curved. They're complicated, so it takes time to build.
Yeah.
Does anybody else do those?
Not locally, There's a shipyard up in Maine and there's one in Florida. Those two people will do it, but we'll do it and save you half the price.
Okay. Another thing too, Steve, people come in from out of town. They want to stay in people's guest rooms, right? So you might have grandparents coming in, parents coming in from different cities and
Isn't
states.
that what hotels are for, Tom?
Well, but a lot of people will have them come to their house.
Okay.
So now if you're thinking about, oh gosh, the guest room needs another mattress, we've had that same mattress in there for forever.
Perfect.
Now's the time to do that.
Yeah.
And the thing with Charlie is a lot of times it's only a couple of days, right, before you can get one?
Yeah, and you have to buy the right mattress because, we had a customer buy a new mattress. He called me up. Oh, and this was just 3 weeks ago. Thing's too hard. I can't sleep on it. There's something wrong here. I went to visit him and talk to him. The day later, he calls me up and says, thank you. I'm delighted. It's perfect.
Okay.
That's
what
fine.
happened?
But if you got a guest bed and somebody's come in there, they don't have time to break it in. So there's a particular type of mattress that you want, unless you don't want them to come back,
Right.
I got a mattress I'll give you if you don't want guests to come back. But if you want them to be comfortable, buy a particular type, which we can show you.
Where does state-of-the-art and old and tradition and craftsmanship fit in? I was over taking pictures of Charlie here a few months back. The sewing machine, Tom, looked like it was, like Edison invented this thing. This sewing machine was this amazing thing. Charlie, am I wrong? Talk to me about that.
Absolutely. And that's another bugaboo with me that, we got the new improved Tide, right? We got this special mattress with this. It's stupid. I mean,
Tell us how you feel.
yeah. Everything they say is wrong about new mattresses. Bottom line, if they're so good, tell me this. I told you guys in the past that I check what comes back when we sell a mattress and we come back.
Right.
I mean, every mattress, I won't mention the names. I should mention, they told me not to mention the names, but every brand mattress that's the top of the line, we get it back. Why? If it's so good, why didn't they go back and buy another one?
Right.
I mean, without mentioning the name, the number bed.
Yeah.
Those seem to be popping up extreme. I mean, we're getting 1 or 2 a week back of those. That's how bad they are.
We'll just give the numbers. We won't give the names. Right. So I know you've got the little outlet there across from Chick-fil-A in Cicero.
Correct.
Okay, that people can walk in. But the factory, walk right in, you see it on Bridge Street behind Henry Wilson Jewelers. Everybody probably knows that. And that ski shop's right across the street. We had those folks on last week, Tom.
Yes.
On Bridge Street. But people can go in there and see what it is, talk to Carol, talk to Charlie, and maybe swing by, take a nap. But
yes.
It's the only factory, and we've said that before, but all the other mattress places, they buy them from people like you and then mark them up, right?
Yeah, I mean, you go with these people, they tell you, we got 50 mattresses. Well, wow. So what? You know what they're going to sell you?
Yeah.
They're going to sell you what the boss says to say and what you're going to make the biggest commission. It may or may not be a function of quality, but it's definitely a function of bottom line. That's the bottom line, and we don't deal that way.
Mattress makers, Syracuse, and we just said they're in Bridge Street across from Henry Wilson, behind Henry Wilson Jewelers.
Yeah,
yes.
Up on Route 11
and across
in
from
Cicero.
Chick-fil-A.
We're hiding in the back.
All right. Thank you, Charlie. You have a great rest of the day, okay?
You too.
All right. Chris Dambeck is coming up next. He's the owner of Industry Standard USA. We'll find out all about his business next on The Local Show.